The first step in this project, well, the first step in this script writing anyway, was to furiously scour the internet for whatever in the flying hell this thing on top of my camera is called. Turns out it's called a hotshoe. Why a shoe, you ask? I'm not sure, but I'm right there with you in crotchety, confused consternation. Wondering why we, yet again, skipped past the socks and landed straight into the shoes. Nobody appreciates a good pair of socks these days, and I for one have had it up to here with the disrespect. What good is a pair of shoes without any socks? Have you ever felt that sticky, sliding, gross feeling? It's awful, completely unusable, repulsive. Have you seen these Gen Zers, these Zoomers? They've got it figured out, I tell you. They wear socks even with their sandals. That's where we went wrong. We forewent the socks, and now we're paying for it. We blasphemed our woolen gods, and we expect mercy. 1,000 years of tickled torment from bare feet trekking across freshly trimmed grass for those who forego the sock. Do you hear me, world? I won't do it again, I tell you. To hell with your insistence on skipping straight to the shoes of it all. There has to be room for socks, lest we fall to depths no better than the animal, forever relegated to soulless journeys from toe and arcing to... No, never to heal. Well, now that the crotchety old bit is out of the way, conformity, it turns out, is far easier than consternation. So today we're building a shoe. A hot shoe, to be exact. One sexy hot shoe. Specifically to hold my microphone, so these voice recordings can take on a much-needed measure of professionalism. My P's can mind their Q's and stop sounding like they're trying to escape this mortal realm on some airborne rocket wantonly expelling methane emissions. That one was a bit of a stretch, so in case I didn't make myself clear, I'm afraid that last line was indeed a fart joke. To accomplish this is easy. We just need a way to hold this microphone at a distance that isn't directly on top of my lips. Much as I enjoy the experience, it reminds me of eating some hairy ice cream, and who doesn't like ice cream? It isn't very good for quality audio recording. I've been getting by using this old indicator stand and a set of threads on the bottom of this microphone, which are close enough to M10 to get about half a thread on, just enough for this application. While its distressed cherry finish does look nice, and more importantly speaks to my powder-coated soul, this indicator stand isn't hot, nor is it much of a shoe. Also, the magnet no longer works. Did you know that these things lose their magnetism when you remove the inner bit? I sure didn't, but we all learned a thing or two along the way and hopefully, just maybe, made a few friends. Regardless of whose fault is whose regarding indicator repair failures, the reality of the situation is that the mic sits directly in front of the keyboard, where my wacky waving inflatable flailing tube man arm movements often bump it during animated monologues about socks. Ruining this sultry voiceover, I strive to provide for all you good people concerning all manner of shoe, sock, and feet-related content. So today, well, quite a while ago actually, but I'm recording this voiceover today, which I guess isn't today for you folks. Oh no, not again. Those of you who have already watched my latest Campfire Tale video, wait, was that the first Campfire Tale video? Those of you who have already watched the only Campfire Tale video I have ever made may be a bit confused. Don't worry. Your temporal reckoning capabilities haven't been degraded. Well, I guess I don't know that. I have it. Don't worry. Everything will be okay. Whether your temporal lobe is fully functioning or has been turned into some style of soup, the video you are currently perusing is proceeding as planned. You are correct. I did in fact already use this hotshoe to record the introduction and the delightful lip-licking sequence at the end of that campfire tale video. For the rest of you, those with the privilege of never having tested your tenacious trace on the temporal tune, I'm happy for you. But you should watch that video anyway, that you may partake of its existential horrors the same as the rest of us. That we may all come a crook closer in this cold caligonous case, our combined climbing cardiac capital coagulating in chronometric cacophony. Curses. Comfortable candle crackling cozily cannot curtail clomping camera clothes. Confused? Let us turn back to the shoe at hand. It starts, as all great journeys do, with squaring off, just like our spinach-housing sailor-man ancestors. Well, I guess it should start with spinach, but you'll have to forgive me if I can't live up to the role model standards of old. For as often as I feel I'm a man born out of time, removed from the great ephemeral stream of life not too early, but too late, I would not have survived the days of Popeye. For when I was but 10 years old, if I had even made it that far, I ate a hamburger. Lo, how the body betrays. For this hamburger set upon a chain of events that would forever warp my young, impressionable mind. It started with a rattling relay of regurgitation, where I, palms sweaty, knees weak, arms heavy, mom spaghettied my appendix right out of my body. That traitorous foe had burst before hitting the eject button, that it may salt the earth of my lower intestine upon its insidious departure. My young mind understood the severity of the treachery and learned all it could in the form of not eating another hamburger for over 42 years, fearing the return of the spaghetti. Life moves fast, kids. Make sure you eat your spinach just like the great prophet Popeye foretold. For if you don't heed his holy words, you too may encounter that dastardly spaghetti hiding behind your own cherished ham and forever lose that precious childhood burger in the process.
Waking up in this bad dream, part of me fades out of view. Burn the bridges, burn the watch the flames spread like a meme. I'd rather it on you than me. 1,000 suns will wake you from your sleep. All the money, all the things you can't take. Can't take them with you where you go.
I'm sure it's perfectly clear how all these pieces you see being made before you will come together, on account of this concise and very topical voiceover. So without further ado, let us dive straight into machining the ears of this sexy shoe. We start with a rusty old piece of scrap L-beam I got from my cousin. A quick bit of sawing and this L-beam turns into the lowercase I-beam I tried to copyright. But it turns out the tradition of slapping I's in front of words is no longer fruitful. Ha, get it? Fruit. Apples? Oh, come on, that's funny, Dan. On account of every word in the dictionary already having had an I appended to it by generations long past. So we proceed with our non-denominational beam, taking this metal from L to I to a pair of ears. These ears form the laces that cement our sockless foot to the top of the shoe, or, well, I guess inside the shoe, and also the foot is doing the cementing. Laces? Alright, I tried to hold my peace, but this is egregious. This analogy is about as deep as my patience. You can't just wrap your analogous failings in sexy monikers and expect to escape the long arm of justice forever. What kind of shoe doesn't even have its own laces? And don't even mention those laceless abominations. These slips, nothing more than fancy socks with rubber on the bottom. Flip-flop my way to the madhouse before I'll slip anything resembling a thong on my foot, I tell you. The sock is a far more accurate analogy. They're both empty vessels that exist solely to surround a foot. But no. Instead of a utopian world filled with boundless cloth tubes, we get a shoe. No socks, no laces, no dignity.
Caught behind Venetian blinds, had to reach for the city lights. This ain't where I belong. Hey, look at me, man, what I become. I've been running east, looking for a sunset, digging deep since '99. What I thought was gone was sitting in my pocket in plain sight all along. I think it's time for me to go burn all bridges. All I know, I got lost along the way, fell between the foam, pulling stitches. Time to let go, so come what may.
Now that we've all calmed down a bit, we can move on to the final touches of this hot shoe. Well, not the final time we'll touch it, surely. But we can at least put its ears on. And maybe dip a tentative toe in there. Maybe take its voluptuous self out to a nice steak dinner.
Clear the table, cut the grass, doing all I can of the
That was fast. I swear that never happens. It's just cold in here, alright? Joking aside, look at how hot this shoe is. Not very, eh? Yeah, I got kinda lazy with this one and didn't do any finish work beyond breaking the edges a bit. I, like all of us, am but a flawed man. Except for those of you who aren't men, I guess. All three of you. Hello, Mother. Sometimes I too feel the call of slothfulness. Sometimes I too partake of gluttony's intoxicating waters. If I've learned anything in my often needlessly stressful days, it's the value of balance. Work is a virtue, but reward for one's work, self-imposed and self-allotted, is a path to true happiness. For man who works for virtue alone, man who works for reward allotted only through others, man who forgoes the larger aspects of life, is as shallow as those who know not the satisfaction of a productive day put behind. A day mowing hay for winter, programming a particularly clever algorithm, constructing a solid workbench, repairing some machine created by hands long past, brings about the sweetest rest come night. One mustn't forget the value of a good life in pursuit of the value directly in front of them, for such is the value of the lonely crow, forever chasing the shiniest item on the horizon, and forever forgetting the treasured nest that lay behind. Perhaps this shoe has taught me that I should look past the socks occasionally, that I may get on with tightening the laces that bind us all together rather than steep in lamentations about sticky feet. Really makes you think, doesn't it? Well, until next time, friends, keep your socks on. But be sure to take them off every now and again, too.